To prime the CentriMag Pre-connected Pack, first close the clamps on the arterial tubing and venous tubing near the priming bag. Then, remove the luer caps from the stopcocks on the top of the priming bag and verify the stopcocks are open. Close the clamp on the priming line. Next, insert the priming spike into the priming solution and open the clamp on the priming line. Fill the priming bag with the priming solution. Add a second bag of priming solution if necessary. Then close the clamp on the priming line and remove the air from the priming bag through the stopcocks. Once all of the air is removed, close the stopcocks and replace the luer caps. Next, close the stopcocks on the two pigtails connected to the oxygenator. Then place a clamp on the arterial tubing connected to the oxygenator blood outlet. Place the tubing in the middle of the clamp. Then latch the clamp to the third notch to ensure it is fully closed. Open the purge line on the oxygenator by opening the stopcock and removing the luer cap on the filter. To gravity prime the circuit, remove the CentriMag pump from the motor and raise the pump and tubing tray above the priming bag. Then open the clamp on the venous tubing near the priming bag. Slowly lower the tubing tray and pump to allow the fluid to completely fill and de-air the tubing, the pump, and the oxygenator. Once the pump and tubing are free of air, place the pump back into the motor, securing it with a retaining screw. Next, attach the CentriMag flow probe onto the oxygenator outlet tubing with the arrow pointing in the direction of flow. With the CentriMag console on, slowly increase the pump speed to 1500 RPM. Do not exceed a pump speed of 2000 RPM when there are clamps on the circuit. Then open the clamp on the arterial line near the priming bag to fill the tubing with solution. Next, remove the clamp on the oxygenator outlet line to prime the rest of the circuit. Verify all clamps have been removed from the circuit. Then slowly increase the pump speed to 2000 RPM. If the pigtails were used, de-air the lines by opening the stopcocks and slowly removing the caps. Once the lines are purged, close the stopcocks and tighten the luer caps. Allow the fluid to recirculate through the circuit for 3 to 5 minutes to remove any micro bubbles. The oxygenator may be repositioned to release any trapped air within the membrane. If air is present, remove it through the purge line. Then close the stopcock and slide the white clamp closed. Verify there are no leaks in the circuit and all connections are secure. Next, gradually reduce the pump speed to 0 and stop the pump. Then close the clamps on the venous and arterial tubing near the priming bag. Finally, remove the caps from the oxygenator gas outlet and inlet. Connect the green gas line to the oxygenator gas inlet connector and the other end to an oxygen source. Keep the gas supply turned off until support is initiated. Once priming is complete, move the circuit to the sterile field. First pass the 4 sterile clamps onto the field. Then remove the tubing tray cover and transfer the tubing to the sterile field, taking care to keep the non-sterile tubing away from the sterile field. Next, place 2 clamps onto the arterial tubing and another 2 clamps onto the venous tubing at the desired length. The circuit is ready to connect to the cannulas. Ensure all air is removed from the tubing before removing the clamps.